everybody? Welcome back to another episode of
Let us sip.
This is your girl, Brittany.
It's your girl, Kaloni.
Sophy is down the block around the corner, but still in the building.
And welcome back, y'all, to another episode. This time you all get to see us again. You get to see our beautiful faces. Ladies, hit them with the angles. The angles. Ooh. Oh, there you go. Coming to
Yes.
That's my
Patreon near
angle.
you.
Titties is my angle.
And I thought I was doing something with the pocket. Fuck you, Sophie.
I ain't gonna know this little turtleneck going
When I
on.
got on a mock neck. It's all right, though. You cute. And it's velvet.
It's a Zara dress, actually.
Hey, what is
Aw,
that?
shit. This is
It is that
beautiful.
good velvet.
Mm. So how y'all been, ladies? How was your week?
My week was cool. It was like cooler than cool. I went to a place in Jersey. You know, I'm like a Jersey native, adopted, whatever the fuck. But I went to some place called Barcode. The shit was alright. The shit had a pool. It was going. It was a good crowd. You know, New York City, a lot of us, we be stiff. We be in places. We be mean monkey. We don't want to do shit. They was actually dancing. They was doing the whole thing, even though they had the big sign, no dancing due to COVID. Federal law, but they didn't give a fuck about that. I'm just happy nobody walked into the pool. But nonetheless, it was raining. That was on Sunday. It was raining. And there, you know, people have to understand the infrastructure of shit with COVID, because they got some outside shit built. It's not inside, but they got the little thing to hover over. Yo, make sure no rain don't come into that bitch, man. Like, what are y'all doing? You should
You
be
had
able to
wet
press
feet?
a button. What? Yo, the shit started blazing outside. I was worried about the whole DJ equipment. Like, they about to get electrocuted. But I seen people like running from the back because where they were sitting at, rain was coming. I was in a good section, thank God. But they was running. I wish I would be paying for some bottle service and some rain. Come rain on me. I wish. Refund. Let me
You
get
and
that
your
money
funky
back.
shit.
Give me money. Give me
let me
money.
Give me
get
my
let me get them
money.
coins. No, but I was like, they need to. It should be a button press. Then they was all panicking. Security's running. They're sweeping the water into the pool. I'm like, the fuck, amateurs.
Note to self:
But
don't get back. Don't
nonetheless,
get in that pool when it does open up.
exactly,
Right.
all the dirty water just sweeping that bitch in there. But nonetheless, it was cool. It was like a different kind of Dykeman. It was like Dykeman with dancing people. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Well, I thought they danced on
Oh,
Dykeman.
well, they no,
They didn't
well,
give you a little
no, but
Did,
rumpet,
did
none
you
of that.
feel safe?
I did. I definitely
That's what's
did.
up.
I definitely
I had
did.
a good weekend. I'm not gonna lie, like, well, great week so far. I was able to do my passion, do some makeup, find some time. I feel bad. I've been telling people I'm gonna be around, I'm out of town, like, but I was able to help somebody who makeup artist actually bailed on them at the last minute, which I think that's a whole nother topic. Like, can we talk about professionalism? Okay.
We
Everybody want to
tried.
be entrepreneurs, but niggas don't be professional all the time.
Listen, we
Like,
was trying not to kill their asses when we was talking about Style Seat, because they infamous for that shit.
mm-hmm.
Oh my
And me and my
god.
client, we was going in. Like, she was talking about how they always tell her to wash her own hair because she has a lot of hair. And how she never tip. And I was like, well, girl, you definitely need to listen to Let Us Sip because we literally was
Mhm.
just talking about
Just
that.
talk about that.
Like, I felt bad for literally being late one time, like really being late. And
Mm-hmm.
I offered her free service. I didn't curled her hair, recurled her hair for free. And I'm like, that's the least I can do. Like, lay your edges down,
There you go. Customer
Because that little
service.
extra, that 15, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna leave that in your pocket. But she ended up still giving me extra 25. I'm like, listen, thank you, girl.
There you go. You do people
Yeah,
right. That's what happens.
gotta make sure people
Exactly.
are good. I'm like, I'd rather somebody bail out on me than me telling you the day of an important event that I can't do it for some odd reason, or like, oh, you're
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes late. We gotta reschedule. Like, that's just messed up. Like,
Yeah.
but so far so good. What about you, boo?
Me, I am trying to clean up my retarded ass yard. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody with that word, but I got more weeds in my yard than I got grass, and we can't smoke that weed. So
Hmm.
I'm waiting for the lawn care
Oh.
service guy to come and finish it because this shit is a mess. And I've been juicing. Gotta be juicing. Yeah, but
Mm.
mom life. Pretty much that's all that's been going on.
Your juice is
So,
delicious, by the way. Okay.
oh, you like my
I've been trying to
juices?
preserve and just do a little shot before I go. I like, I like myself. Like, I'm saving it. I'm saving it. Yes, I mixed it
Thank
up
you.
this
Thank
morning.
you. Yeah, I've
Hmm.
been working trying to come up with some stuff. But so let's just go ahead. Let's jump into the beauty tip. What you got for us, Pupulala?
Yes, honey. So my beauty tip is how to properly contour that nose.
Mm.
Okay, a lot of my clients, they like they little 20-minute nose job. They don't got to go underlying no surgery. And
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely possible, but you got to know where to put the concealer. So where you would put the concealer under your eye is the same place and you can kind of figure out how skinny you kind of like want your nose to be. You're not going, back in the day, everybody did the straight line. You want to kind of
Mm-hmm.
like curve inward.
Cause your
And
nose curves, doesn't it?
yes, you want to curve inward, and you only want to bake on the outside of your nose where you put the lighter concealer that's under your eyes.
I know this is
So,
makeup talk, but that sounds
yes.
like coke.
So Brittany, don't get an F. Don't fail me now, because I know you know what baking is. We did this. We discussed this. Okay, it's the powder that you put with your sponge on the outside of your nose. You could put it on for 5 minutes just to give that set, and sweep it off like dust. And voila, that shit works miracles.
Is it the dust of the angels?
It's the dust of the angels, of the translucent powder. It's amazing.
Voila.
Yes, that's my beauty tip 101.
So now that y'all baked your faces, and I'm happy that this is a visual because Kelani actually got to show you how to curve.
Yeah, we are curving it in, honey. Curving it in.
Hey. So now that y'all got your makeup on, let's drink. If this is your first time listening, the sip of the week is we pick a word and we say the word throughout the conversation. When you hear it, you drink. So this week's sip of the week is going to be the word creep. We're going to say creep. You guys pick up your cups. Let's show them, ladies. Let's practice. Creep,
And it
creep,
goes a
creep.
little something like this.
E.
This possibly could be a creep
Mm-hmm.
on my
Yes.
cup here. And I'm
Does your cup have
listen,
a
since you guys are
face?
visually getting it, yeah, it's a skeleton.
Okay.
Okay.
Looks
So
like a
as it is,
tiki
you guys are
thing.
visually seeing us.
There
I'm a
you
straw
go.
person. You'll never see me drink without straws. Like, are you
It's the only
shitting
thing
me?
you'll see
Like,
her suck for free.
that's it. Unless you got $29.95 and you meet me on OnlyFans.
Yes.
You can see me suck two straws, a blue straw and a
Two
green straw.
straws together.
Dos. Creep, 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 creep. Yes, y'all. So this week's topic, we're talking about older men preying on younger women. Let's just leave a moment of silence for that. All right, ladies. So why do you think older men do it?
Because they like that little young stuff. And now, when you say old, do you mean like
I'm
old
talking
man?
about older men, 40 and up, preying on women 25 and under.
That's like midlife crisis stage ish. So yeah, a lot of them like the young girls that they can mold. They like the fun aspect, especially if maybe they lived a little life and the wife wasn't doing what they would have liked to be done. So they figure they get them a nice little young tenderoni who they can't keep up with, but they like the idea of it and they like to fuck it. Let's be honest.
That's a fact. But you know what kills me, the kicker is a lot of guys that are like that, they don't consider themselves pedophiles. And I
Hmm.
know some guys who cringe, like, they fuck a girl. And some girls, they be lying about their age, and then when they find out later, years later, that she was only like 16, but she had a
Mm.
body of like a 30-year-old.
See, but that's their fault because you can tell a 16-year-old when she opens her mouth. Plain and simple.
I can't
Yes, a
say that.
lot of time.
You can
No,
say
I know.
that.
I knew
I
you was
can't
gonna
say
say
that.
that. I knew you was gonna say that because
I
you was like,
can't.
I was
I
always
can't because I've
mature.
been. I've been
But nigga,
tapping
they
into
knew
these
your ass was
streets,
still in
man.
school. Once you said homework, what are you doing?
She
In
not gonna say
class?
homework.
What
No,
you
I'm
say?
not gonna say
At work?
home.
Go
I ain't even
ahead, Miss
say
Tenderoni. Go ahead.
I ain't
Break
even
it
saying
down.
homework because
Break
you
it
gotta keep
down.
in mind here, for the most part, high school is supposed to be 4 years, right? So if it is that I'm going in there, this could be my ninth grade. This could be me being 14. This could be me being 16. You don't know, but I'm telling you, I'm 18 and I'm graduating. They don't have no fucking idea what's going on. And then especially I know for me, even because I seen like dudes I was dealing back in those days, and as I'm thinking about it, it was like, bruh. But I was doing grown people shit. Like I had my own spot. I had a car back, and it was like it was certain things it is that I had, and no one would have never knew. So when it is that I run into them again now, and they be like, "Our age," I'd be like, "No, nigga, you're fucking 47. I am not your age. You just thought I was your age back in those days. No."
So like mentally as a young girl like doing that. So if like
Mhm.
was it like an adrenaline rush for you? Like, sleeping or dating. Not even sleeping. You ain't even have to probably sleep with these niggas half the time. They so easy. It's like or just knowing that like you can get away with it.
It was that, and also being where it was that I was at, I was more advanced than the people it was that I was going into high school with. So, like I said, I had my own spot, and certain things it is that these little niggas ain't had. So I was like more attracted to the older people because it's like you could come to my spot, I could go to yours, and I ain't gotta worry about mom over here. I ain't gotta worry about mom over there. Where you at? These little niggas don't have that. So that
So
that's
my
really what
question is
was
to
more to
you,
me.
real
Mm-hmm.
quick, real quick. And I ain't judging you, my sis. Where the hell was your mama at? Yo, I know somebody think, wait,
Creep.
yes, great, great. Where the hell was Shirley at?
Shirley was living somewhere else, and at that time, I was living in Queens with my grandmother. So I had a whole nother floor. Like it was a two-family
Oh,
house. I
okay.
had
You
a
got Nay in
whole
the
nother
house. Okay.
entrance. This was something totally different. So it wasn't like me in my own apartment at being 16. I was in Nana house, but a whole nother shit going
Another
on.
lane.
So
Right. I
yeah.
feel you. Okay.
Swerving. See, I think it's
Swerving.
more I think it's more so of a willful ignorance though. Cause like I understand, like you said, Sophie, you had you had the stuff to make him think that yeah, she may be older. But
Mhm.
like it had to be a conversation or something that y'all have and you something clicks like, whoa, wait a minute. How old she said she was? And I'm
Bruh.
talking about like I'm not talking about like the 18-year-old boy dating the 14-year-old girl. You already know that. I'm talking about the 23, 24-year-old person. Well, yeah, person talking to a 16-year-old. There's something, it's a willful ignorance. I'm telling you, it's something that has to click to make you be like, well, wait a minute.
Bruh, for me, you can throw me in the game, coach. I might have never played this game before, but you're not gonna know that. That has been me since I was 14. The first alcohol I remember I had with some dudes, and they was in their 20s. I was probably like 15 years old or something like that. And it's like this is the first. It was E&J Brandy. I've never drank before. They didn't fucking know that. I was in this shit like I've been drinking for 500 years. I'm saying to myself, shit, this is what
But
fucking
what was
drunk
y'all
is.
talking about? That's what I think. Like, did y'all
Right.
ever
Everything.
talk?
Is
Yeah,
it more
absolutely. Everything under the sun. And I honestly, as it is that I'm going forward, I appreciated stuff like that because I still was me. I don't know if God just made me built for this game because I've seen older women for their particular thing and they was messing around with a DJ. And I used to see older women in their 20s come from Long Island to Queens for them to be sitting in the room for one of them because they was my homeboys. So I used to watch women in their 20s coming from Long Island, niggas hood, Long Island, they liked it. They used to fuck
Mhm.
one nigga, and that nigga be like, yo, I gotta go. My man gonna take you home. And then his man is supposed to take him home. It's like, yo, if I don't fuck, I'm not gonna take you home. These are women that's in their 20s. And me being 17, I'm watching this shit like, this cannot be me. This will never be me. And it never was me. So I'm appreciative for stuff like that because I learned the game of how it is and niggas do. Like, girl, you ain't had, but as being me, being in my 20s now, and I reflected like, she had 20 something hours to go back to Long Island. Damn, that's crazy. I'm not gonna fuck you and your man just to get back to Long Island. No.
That no, that's different. That was a desperate breed. That was a
But
pass
and I seen
around.
it happen over and over and over again. Like me being,
You
I'm
know
just
what's
like, it
crazy?
really was a
Like
rude awakening.
living in the projects, right? Like you know how like I always had a lot of people that knew me off the strength of my parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I was like 12 and it was and even to this day that shit make me cringe. Like just the fact of guys saying, "Oh, when she get older, she gonna be bad," and
There,
they was
that's a
saying that when
perfect
I was a
segue.
kid, and
Perfect
I was
segue.
just like, I mean,
That's
you
creepy.
know, it went from they mouth to the Lord's ears, but I'm like,
Nah, it got
sir,
around.
it never really sat well with me, and I used to always just like feel weird, like like that
You
nervous laugh
should
as a
because
kid, and kind
that's
of like
creep
run.
behavior.
Hmm.
Yes, and let me tell
So
you
you
this:
sat
all
there
the
and you
young
watched
guys.
me.
Oh yeah. And I know that they watched me because when I moved back when I was 25,
Hmm. Now they're
they
gonna
let
put
me
their
know.
claws in you.
Oh yeah, they thought they was gonna fuck. Bye. Like,
Hmm. And me
no.
even being an old lady
Mm-mm.
now, I be experiencing now, and they be like, "Yeah, you right now." Now, no, it's a no for me. That's why it is that as it is that I've gotten older, looking back at it, like it is you said, Brittany, it wasn't for the conversing part. I was there, I was tapped in, but it was certain things that because my grandmother, she was with the shits. It wasn't Shirley. Shirley didn't hit me or nothing. Nana will be on your ass. Okay. So it was like it wasn't her. So I used to have dude meet me like blocks over. You feel what I'm saying? My cousin, she was built for this shit. She ready for Nana to go oops upside her head. I wasn't built like that. But for small things like that, it
Mhm.
wasn't a conversing. It's about how you meeting up with her. And I remember it was
She is
another
sneaky
dude. It is
links.
right. I was
Yeah.
another dude I used to deal with, and if he paid attention, I was a shook person because, like I said, I started drinking and stuff. I wouldn't go into the liquor store, even though I'm in the hood. The hood will sell you anything. But I used to be like, "Yo, yeah, I'm gonna come by the shop. Go buy me some alcohol. I'll come." He not thinking like, "Why you can't go buy your own alcohol?" You feel what I'm saying? Shit
That's
like
what I'm
that. If
saying.
they
This is
paid
willful
attention to right,
ignorance.
Yes,
but not
willful ignorance.
not conversing. It wasn't that. It was more
He
of my behavior. Like, why the fuck?
But that right there is a willful ignorance because
You
it's
know
like if
why?
you're
Because she
old
couldn't behave
enough,
herself.
exactly. If she was old enough, she'd have been the way she talk her shit. She would have been like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna get us a bottle," or "I got us a bottle." And I say that because me being older now and listening to these kids, these niggas is dumb as a box of rocks.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm like, y'all really out here navigating uh, shit. The adults, the 20-year-olds, and K, you don't count,
Yeah. I'm about to be 30.
but the 20-year-olds, I'm like, what the fuck are y'all thinking?
They
But
not.
hey,
And I'm gonna
hey,
tell
it
you
looks
because
good. It looks good. That's all it is. They looking at what it looked like, but the bitch brain is scrambled like eggs. The fuck?
let me tell you this. I remember literally like it was yesterday. I didn't really have my personal relationship with God till I was 20 years old, right? And when you think back from like 20 and before, Kaloni did not have a conscience. I didn't think of repercussions. I
Yeah,
didn't
shit
think
don't
about what's
stink.
going to happen if I did it. Like we didn't really think things through as far as like every action is a reaction. These motherfuckers, they don't care. They mind mentally is just not even there. They're living in the moment. And
Mhm.
that's what we all did when we was age. But it's like, but once you get to a conscious level, you got responsibility or something with a flame under your ass. Like,
Exactly.
it makes you think like, because I ain't gonna lie, when I was young, I used to have a crush on like older guys, but they was like maybe like 18, 19, and I'm 15. I'm thinking like, oh shit, like they looking at
Yeah,
me, I'm
three
looking
to
at them,
four
and I had
years.
really like back up. Like, and I appreciate that because I was young and dumb. They could have easily fucked me and messed me up mentally,
Exactly.
like
That's why I was very protective because I know
yeah.
she looks like she's with the shits, but she still likes her
You know,
dolls. She still likes to watch cartoons. She's still a
Disney
baby.
Channel. Yes. I'm like, this girl watched Disney Channel all day.
Right, faithfully. So you're not gonna sit here and take her innocence. But like you said, I used to like older guys, and the older guys that I'm talking about is maybe 3 to 4 years older. But when you look at it, and when you get older and you're dating or you messing with somebody that is 3 to 4 years older than you, Your timelines are completely different. Cause in '07, I was graduating from high school. My nigga was living a whole different adult life. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just like,
And I
eventually
was
your paths to join together, but it's be some creep shit.
It
it's
definitely
crazy.
do.
When I
Creep
was
again.
17, I had like a close friend. Like he was cool. Like, that was my homie. But I think he was like 21, turning 22 at the time.
Hmm.
And it was cool because we would hang out all the time. And like, but
He's
he low
greasing your
key,
ass.
yeah, but he low key had a crush on me. And it was weird back then because I kept saying, like, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? But he's like, Kalani, I'm over 18. That's the problem, you know?
Yes.
And not saying that he ain't me till I was 18, but I'm just saying.
I don't know if there's a statute. What's this statute
Creep, creep, creep,
limitations?
creep, creep, creep,
There you
creep,
go.
creep,
Drink it up.
Yeah.
creep,
Drink it up.
creep,
Which
creep,
cup?
creep,
Which cup?
creep, creep.
Creep, creep, creep,
Ooh.
creep, creep. But it was crazy because it was like, but she mad cool though. Like, but no, like, and when I tell you, especially when you get to college, because I was messing everybody head up. I didn't turn 18 until a few months
The
later.
end of the fucking year. The
Yes,
very
the
end
end
of
of
the
the year.
year.
So when I tell you, when I came in August, I was stressing everybody because I had to tell them I'm 17. I'm
Mm-mm.
17, and they was just like, the fuck you doing here? Like, like stress.
Listen, I
I'm
grew
like,
up
my
in the
birthday late.
age.
My
I
birthday
grew up
late.
in the age of where people mother was calling the cops on niggas for statutory rape. Like this was every few weeks or so, somebody that got locked up because he's messing with this little ass girl. And just so
Mm-hmm.
happened, this guy that I know that got locked up a few times for messing with younger girls end up being my husband cousin. Go fucking figure.
See,
So
Mm.
I was, he's like, yeah, he did have a thing. And I'm like, that's not a thing. That's a problem.
Yes. And it's some, and
see.
like Brittany said, midlife crisis. It may be some guys like, no, I want that young pussy. Maybe it feel a little tighter, or mentally they so ignorant. Like, well, she had a baby, her pussy not tight no more. Like I hear that ignorance all the time. I'm like, if
Man,
that
they
makes
still
you
don't
sleep
think
better
that
at
you can
night,
catch,
okay, but you still
they,
going
s-
to hell.
they still think that you can't catch herpes from sucking dick without a condom. So, hey, I'm
They
not
still don't think
surprised.
that you could catch herpes with kissing. Like this is the world it is that we're in. And
Weird,
if
just
it is that
weird
I
shit.
reflect back to stuff, is like the first person it is that I think that I even had sex with. I probably was like 14, 15. The nigga was 19. But as I think back to, it, I'll be like, yo, damn, you was a fucking creep, 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 creep. And you would like, it's a lot
Creep.
of pedophiles in the community, but people don't
They was
realize
loving that pussy.
pedophiles, they fuck the community first. That's their first fuck, is the community, because they got everyone brainwashed that it can't be them. So when the kites start flying around, it is them. Everybody like, no, no way, they want to do that because they done fuck the community of them being such this good whole person, and no
See, you
one's
gotta
no
say
one's
it
gonna
like
be
Diddy,
like,
Sophie. You gotta say it like Diddy. He's mind fucking him. There you
that's it.
go. You say the
The
mind
whole
fuck.
the whole crew. Like, yeah, that's I don't have my feel, but like I said, if I think back to, and I be seeing it, I be mad when I be seeing them old ass niggas now. They be like 107 years. I be like, boy. And I had, one of the relationships. I think I was 19. Now I wasn't. I probably like 17. And the dude was 10 years older than me. Word. And that was one of the relationships I had for a minute, like 10 years. I was 17, he was 27. And I seen him, I think like last year or some shit like that. And he was like, hey, something. No, that was my first whole toxic thing. I was like, no, it's a no for me.
I was
But
scared of.
I was trying to get
Uh-uh.
into the loop of stuff because my cousin, he was like a part of Onyx, and I was like a little extra bird. I used to listen to the nigga beeper thing, and I used to jot down the nigga numbers and call them and do all sort of goofy shit.
You was
My cousin used to be
fast.
like, I wasn't gonna
Yeah,
fuck
you
you
go
up.
fast,
But he used
fast.
to tell him, like, yo, she's like 16, like, don't do it. I feel like, damn, you hating. But now as I'm getting older, like, no.
Thank you. Thank you.
Exactly. No.
So do you guys believe that it's a certain type of girl you would most likely think fall victim to this? Like for instance, a young girl with possibly like daddy issues or lack of love or attention. Like
If
what
she's
y'all think?
impressionable, because some girls have a good family structure, and sometimes they like we talked about earlier, they don't believe that shit really stinks. So everybody could be telling you, "Ooh, don't touch that stove. That stove get hot." And you be like, "What? I ain't see nobody get burnt. And next thing you know, I'm gonna go and touch it. Now we gotta go and sit here and fucking find you
Ready,
a
get it
dress to
started.
wear for the funeral
I
because
got
he done
no.
murked your ass. There you go.
Yeah.
She's like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't think I'm gonna touch
Mm-hmm.
it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I
Yes.
think you know what it is. It's very rare it is that you tell a human something like, "Yo, don't do this. This is what I went through." I went through, and they be like, "Okay, I'm not gonna do it." They're gonna still do that shit.
I'm gonna keep it in my mind. I'm gonna go touch the stove though.
But
Fuck
or
what
we
you
think we
heard.
could remix it, how whatever it is. Like that was you. I can do something totally different with the same thing. We always do
And
shit
I
like
can
that.
change him. I can change
I have to
him.
change him.
Said, girl,
Girl, what
all
is
his
he?
baby mothers
He
telling you
can't
he
change
ain't
the
shit.
weather.
Nigga, he like you said last time, nigga, he is the common denominator. Everybody
That's
tell
it.
you. You don't
That's
learn till
it.
you get older. It ain't them,
That's
it's
it.
you.
So with that being said, let's break down a quick list of celebrities with a big age difference. So the number one, celebrity that we're going to discuss is Celine Dion and her husband Renee. So they
Hmm.
have a 26-year age gap.
He
Okay.
groomed that pussy.
Yes. She has been with him since she was 12 years old.
Nasty.
12.
Deep.
That nigga had gray hair on his balls
But I
when they was
believe in
dating.
the story he didn't physically touch her until like years later.
He was
So
a
they
patient
say.
creep.
So yeah, so they was
So they
intimate because
say.
he was her manager, I believe, for a few years since she was a little girl.
Manage the
And
pussy. Hmm.
mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
to the day he died, y'all, literally.
So do you call that, is that like love or is it just like weird? Because I'm leaning more towards like the middle. Like it's weird. Like, we hear the greatest love stories or whatever, but take the age out of it and it's a beautiful thing.
I think they were truly like just companions. Like how a lot of people when they just work together for a long period of time, it's just like it just happens sometimes.
Oh,
And
like the work boyfriend?
or work girlfriend or yeah, my work husband,
Hmm. Get your
stuff
head
like that.
knocked off.
Mhm.
But you
And
see, I don't
but
believe in stuff
honestly,
like that. That's
I
like
think it's kind
you
of how R.
seen it,
Kelly and Aaliyah, right?
you plotted on it, you executed it. Especially for men, like they see that thing from this year's old, and they're like, I possibly can't touch it at this particular time because she's too young. But this is gonna be mine. Once it is, and I can do it. I'm gonna do it. And that same thing goes for work because a lot of married men and they see women and they plot and they scheme. They're predators. Like this, what they don't understand about men. They're whole from babies from whatever age they
Yep.
see it, they accomplish it, and they execute it. And they do that because it's like at the age of 12 and you're this older age, what in the world should you have in common in the first place? What
She's
about
a
her should attract you in
child.
the first
Even
place?
body
Like it's
wise.
She's a
nothing that should
child.
happen
There's
that should be
nothing cute about
attractive.
a child.
Besides, in your mind, you're thinking this is fresh meat. This has never been touched before. This is going to be mine.
Mhm.
That's it. Because there's
Fucking
nothing else. It's
psychopath.
like what she went through, what you went through. Y'all are in two totally different spaces. Creep shit, man. Creep it up, drink it up. This is pedophile stuff. Let's get into it.
Creep, creep, creep.
Look,
Yes.
got my
And what
eye
do y'all
twitching on
think
that one.
about Lionel Richie and Lisa Paraji? He's in his 70s and she's in her 30s. So even though I feel like they're in a big gap, it's still weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's 70. He looks like he keep himself in shape, but like I'm spontaneous, right? So I'll be a little nervous if I take my 70-year-old man on a roller coaster. Like I don't want to shock him. So I don't know how I would feel about that. Cause I mean y'all
Creep,
gonna
creep,
hear this
creep, creep,
probably
creep,
through
creep,
this
creep.
segment. You might hear this a lot. Creep, 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 like you said, Sophie. But man, I'm scared of gray hair and long balls. So once you said 70, I was like, oh, his nuts are probably hanging and swinging. And he got
You
gray
know,
pubes.
it's an episode. It made me think of the episode on Girlfriends. And Joan, she finally gave the older guy at her restaurant that kept, trying to make a
Yeah,
pass
he
at
was
her. She finally
persistent.
went out and he blew her socks off. Like his stamina was just different.
But
He
she
was
kept
like,
having dreams that he's gonna have a heart attack and die.
yeah. Look, she kept checking the cabinet looking for Viagra. She was like, "It's no way." He's like, "I don't use that."
But that's, to me,
It was
it's
just
just
he's a
scary.
brother.
It's like, oh, loose skin. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You know what the thing is that I had this conversation with somebody that I went out with, what was that, yesterday, right? On Sunday. And he's just like, I never realized when you get gray hair on your head, it's going to be other places. I myself, I'm not a hair person. Like, I don't even have hair on my arms, but luckily my background history, my grandmother passed away at 98. She had maybe about 4 strands of gray hair. So that can possibly be why I'd be like, okay, but I didn't even think of, like, I used to be at the Y, like on Lexington, like one of them things in the Princey area of Manhattan. I used to see them white bitches walk around with gray boxes. I didn't think nothing of
Mm-hmm.
it at that
And
time.
loose
So I
skin.
was like 16, 17. I'm like, whatever, that gray ass box. But I didn't understand, well, if you get here something gray here somewhere, it's coming on somewhere
Your
else.
nose hair could be gray, your
Ugh,
ears, all of that. Like I
yeah.
was I was like apprehensive about dating like a hairy man. Like I just thought, and this is a young teenage mind,
Mm-hmm.
that like you like a grown man if you got hair on your chest. And then like you see the shows and stuff, and he got all that hamburger meat. I'm like, this is all man. I
Man,
don't think I'm ready for no man.
yo,
And
that's
then
a
they talk
fact.
about licking on the chest and shit. I'm like,
Not the thought.
nah.
Yeah. So now let me ask you guys, since this we're going into this, do you find guys with gray hair or gray beard attractive at our age? I know Kalani, you just like want you right there to the 30. Brittany, you in the early
Mhm.
ones, I'm close to the 40 to 30. So how do you guys feel about guys with the gray hair? Are they sexy to you at this age of your life? Is it like, bruh, hit that just for men? Because that ain't it. Will you do it?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm low key looking forward for my man to get older. I'm like, I want to see what you look like with that beard. Like, I want to see
I'm not
that.
opposed to the salt and pepper as long as you keep it groomed. Cause it's
Right.
like you
I'm
said,
at
now that we're
love
getting
doing.
older, I don't
Mhm.
really have a problem with it. Cause sometimes now we starting to see a lot of these little older men be all right. They
You know
taking
what the
care of
thing that
themselves.
I always be saying, like, men, and it's just the narrative. Men don't hit their real sexy point till they after their 40s. This is
I
that
was thinking
grown
that.
man sexy. This is something different. Now for us, a lot of bitches be washed up once they hit their 40s. Like for us, we gotta maintain our shit and gotta go. Cause once a bitch hit 40, you be like, girl, how old are you? 75,306? Like,
And then we start to think, oh, sometimes some women that just get settled in it. And then because you was like, oh, I'm 36, they start to act like they fucking 56. And it's like, bitch, you
right.
still
Mm,
young.
Uh-huh.
Put a little
mm.
Now,
pep
when
in
it
your
is that the
step.
gray hair starts seeping into you guys' life, are you gonna leave it or are you gonna dye
Girl, I got gray hair now. I be trying to cover up and do. You see, I got the comb over. Shit.
it? You know what it is for
Nah.
me? I think it's about the woman. If it is that you're like 60, 70 years old, you got the gray streak and you take care of yourself. That shit is sexy. I be looking at older women with the whole head of gray, and she be looking like she like 30 something, but she older, but she got the
The
gray. I be
silver,
like,
right?
push through, honey.
Looking
Push
good.
it through. So I think it's
Uh-huh.
more about how is it that you treat yourself. Because some people they got gray hair, they be like, girl, you look old as hell. Please dye that thing. You need it to be
Right.
dyed.
Right.
I feel like only if you act old and your shit start getting gray, you got to do either or. Like,
Right.
but I think it's dope when I see older guys with a little salt and pepper, like in their little beard a little
And they
bit,
got
like,
the beard trimmed up, but
and
you
they
see
got
a
a little
little hip.
swag with it, or like in New York they still got some fresh Tims and doing their own thing. I'm like, okay,
Quick insert. I'm sorry, it's a little bit off topic, but you struck a chord, sis. You struck a chord.
what's up?
I understand why women are attracted to the up top nigga. And we are talking about New York, tri-state area, Jersey, and sometimes Connecticut if they in Stanford or whatever. But when I when I was in Florida and we were waiting to get in the club and you got your niggas from different places throughout the states, these niggas, the ankle to foot ratio be garbage.
Yeah.
Not the
Nigga, they wear the
not the
wrong
bull.
type of sneaker with the wrong
Man.
type of pants. I'll be like, what is this? And I'll be
I
like,
have
oh, okay.
hmm,
I
I
see
just
why the
don't.
girls be like, I like a New York nigga. I say yes. He knows how to. He's fly from the top of his head to the ankles. Like everything goes, and it falls just right.
They
Y'all gotta get it together,
coordinate.
y'all. Y'all gotta get together. I'm
You know,
sorry.
up top guy, their coordination is just on 1,000. But
Coordinate.
you know what really frustrates me when I see men in all designer, right?
Uh huh.
And the shit just don't match. It just be a little off. Like, you know what I mean? Why you wearing Fendi with the look? Like, it's just certain shit that oh
You don't
that
like label
don't
mixing?
it. I don't like label mixing unless I really don't. Only if it's the prints involved. It's just certain things like oh, it make me itch
Not the
or like
itch.
She got the crackhead
or
scratch.
don't have all like
You
Versace and
Jonesing.
you wearing like white ups and shit like that. Like I don't know. It's
Niggas
just
spend it on their whole outfit. They can't afford the sneaker.
it just stressed me out, Sophie. It make you see I'm itching. I'm itching. The velvet look the velvet's itching.
So he can't wear
You see,
Valentino and Gap.
listen, for me, I'm the total opposite.
Stay in
As
your
long as
range,
the
brother.
thing,
Stay
as
in your
long
range.
as it look good together, I'm fine. Cause I'm one of them niggas. I'll have a $1,200 sneaker and I got on a rainbow shirt. Doesn't make sense together, but people be putting stuff together. They like, cause it's this, I'm gonna wear this, and cause it's this, I'm gonna wear. No, that shit is whack. You gotta get a fucking Old Navy t-shirt and would it look better with this whole little get up you have than this
With
bum
some
ass.
nice Air Maxes.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple and you can still be fly and some pressure. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to overdo. It's like if you're not going my whole thing is I'm gonna do it or I ain't gonna do it at all. That's it.
So with
I'm
the
gonna be
older
very on the
I,
head.
men,
I
how do
ain't that
y'all
fly.
feel about older men? Like, would y'all prefer them to dress a certain way? Would y'all prefer them to be like in the stuff that the younger niggas wear, or like the suit, the slacks?
This is the thing: is that it's a certain age and calling for certain things, and you need to relax yourself as being a grown up. Like once it is that you are the grandfather stage, have a fucking seat for certain combos, okay? Because even it is rest in peace, my father. Well, because I knew how Anthony used to dress. So when it is that a guy, especially if you see him changing it or he's too young of it, like what women are you dating or are you trying to attract? Because even my father being 9 million years old, he had a little thick young joint. I think the bitch was like maybe 50 something years old. My father was in his 70s. I seen him with the hard Levi denim, some Nikes. I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, but like I said, it's because he's dating somebody younger. So it's like, what are you trying to attract or who are you dating that now got you into some shit that you shouldn't be having on? Like, you shouldn't have on like the Adidas shit cool, you know what I mean? Run DMC, all of that. But when
No.
you start getting into certain thing and be like, bruh, you are 70 something, 60 something years old, have a fucking seat. Who are you trying to attract? Or who is your bitch?
Listen,
She young enough to be like, yeah, that looks good. I'll slap you in her. How about that? You
I
play
don't
around my
want
father
him
before
in
I
no
slap you in
skinny
her.
jeans, but I don't want him in no fucking boot cut or them
Super
bell
size.
bottoms either.
Yeah, I don't
Uh-uh.
want my man to
They
be
gotta
dressing
have
like
that
all
medium.
preppy every day just because he's older. Like maybe after 50, I'm gonna give him after 50. But
Yeah,
and knowing when to switch it up. Like a grown man knows how to be transparent. Like you can still wear your hoodie and your jeans if you chilling with your lady or going to movies. But if we're going out,
Mhm.
you better have a fucking belt on. It's like
you
you
And
don't want
better
him
have
tap
dressing
and
like
tap
Michael
into
Jordan.
the adult.
yeah, I don't want
But
that.
the adult side of stuff, like, okay, you're old as
The
hell. All right, you want your
contemporary.
uptowns, fine. You want your Tims, fine. Don't have these shits unlacing like the little niggas, okay? Like lacing your shit up. You're a grown ass man. Your lacings need to be lacing. Like you don't need it all stretched out and your shit's just hanging on the side. No,
I don't know.
tie
I
your
might let
fucking
him rock
construction
though,
ball, man.
depending on how he
Tie it.
did
Yo,
it. How he rock him, I might. Cause come on now, imagine him with them fucking constructs tied up to the top. Now,
Nah, they ain't gotta be choked. He got a little
you know
swag
what's
to
cause
him. They
crazy?
don't have to be choked. But they don't have to be like a little nigga. They don't have to be choked. You can tie a Tim. Like we got our minds so brainwashed that it gotta be choked. It ain't gotta be choked. It could be tied, just regular.
mm-mm,
Y'all, I'm gonna
mm-mm,
tell you, I can
mm-mm.
FaceTime my father right now. I guarantee you, he drippy like the young boys. I don't get it. You
Hilarious.
know, I'm like, Dad, you don't like wearing the suits? Nah, that's back in the day.
Right, and
Okay.
that's because he had to. Yeah,
Yeah, he like that was back in the day. I'm like, okay. And he's
yeah,
very
like
prideful of not being like he's one of those men, and I don't know if it's because he's like about to hit 60. He always said like you never have to worry about your father being fat and washed up. He's like, you will never. So he was like, so you better hold the stand. I'm like, after a certain age, kiss my ass. Like, I ain't trying to be cute for you, nobody. But
it's
you
not
know, I
about
love seeing
anybody.
older men that's fit or
I like
like,
that.
or like take care of themselves still. Like I really like that.
I
Yeah, I
like
think
just to
that's
see men
sexy.
like that in general. I think if it is that you got it together as a younger age, you ain't gonna let the shit go. If it is that you ain't got it together at the younger age, you're gonna just be like, over the years, you're just gonna be like, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. And every year you're just gonna gain like 10 more pounds, 10 more pounds, 10 more pounds. Like, fuck it, fuck it. So if it is
Mm-mm.
that you have your mind conditioned, like you need to look, and it has nothing to do with the opposite sex. It should be about you, how it is that you look for the world. Not about
Mm-hmm.
bitches. You need to look good for you. You're an old ass man. Get your shit together.
Yeah. But so how do y'all feel
I like
about older, well, with the situation reversed? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Matter of fact, hey, you're supposed to be doing couples. We done got off on a tangent.
okay. So just breaking down this list before we get to the next question. I'm just gonna shout out a few celebrities, their age and the age difference. So we have Brad Pitt and Nicole. He's 56. She's reported to be in her 20s, her late 20s. Marcus Houston, he married Miss Maya Dickey. He's 38. She's 19.
Right.
The infamous Jay-Z and Beyonce. She was 19. He was 31. Russell Simmons dated Kimora, back in the day. It was a big, big age group. We don't have the age right now, but I believe they was about
She
10
was
plus
like,
She
years.
was like six.
yeah,
She was like
I
15.
15 or
when she
17.
was in the game, but I think that they started officially, she was like 18 or something.
18. Yeah, I think he waited to come out in public, I believe,
Yeah,
till
he
she
took her
turned
out
Yeah, but
18.
though.
they, but
They went on a date.
he,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was something. That's why it is when this whole thing came out, and he resigned from a lot of different companies because of her. Like niggas
He's
know
Yeah.
it
in
is that he was
Bali.
hitting that, or yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Mariah and
He,
Tommy Mottola. He was
Yep.
21 years older. Diddy with Misa. He definitely had a few years on her. But just kicking up and 9 times out of 10, your neighbor down the block, he probably married to a young chick around the corner. you
Shit,
know.
when that shit came out with R. Kelly, everybody kind of felt the type of way because we could all say, I remember being a teenager and seeing the older guys come pick the girls up from school. So, it was a thing. I know we started off
hmm
talking about the creep and the predatory vibes, but that is there too. But, in
Aaliyah.
that atmosphere, we thought it was something normal. It was okay to date somebody a little bit older.
You know what I think is bullshit sometimes is when people try to make, they self feel better about the big age gap. They be like, love doesn't have an age.
Like, no,
All
you
right,
know
the
that
gender,
shit
I
weird.
feel you. The age, get your ass beat. Okay. I'm like, I'm ready to call the popo hoe. Okay.
hmm And I think you know what I think for stuff like that, especially with the hip, with just Hollywood, is like everybody's as guilty as each other. Like, don't point the fingers like, oh my god, he did that. Y'all was around this bullshit. Y'all was just as
Yeah.
Y'all let
guilty
that
as
shit
this
happen.
motherfucker that did this stuff happen. Like, please, y'all probably want to tap in with that younger market too. Don't do that to my man Ara.
Mm.
Y'all was right
Well,
there with him.
not even throwing shade with the guys, because ladies, we be doing it too. I know y'all
Mhm.
heard a few times on the news. This teacher was sleeping with her student.
That's
I think it
nasty.
was a few
That's
years ago, like
pedophilia
this.
too.
Yeah, a teacher, she was like madly in love. They ran away. She ran away with her student, got her pregnant.
hmm
She went to jail and
Mm-mm.
everything. They were
And
still
of course,
together.
right, and they'll like be like, stay away, and she just couldn't, and still was texting him like, girl.
You don't
But
like
and
your
she was
Mm-hmm.
freedom.
married. I remember it was a case like that, and she was married too. But she was like still cheating after the court then told her to leave that guy alone. But I think everyone does stuff for a reason. So I think for males, for the most part, it's more about the grooming aspect of it. Like she's super young. Let me tap into her for this age so I can groom her. For the women, it's more about their males aren't. It's still a grooming thing. So it's like their guys aren't who it is that they need them to be. Let me get this younger one. Let me see if it is that I can actually mold him too into the guy it is. And it'd be bad because a lot of times you get this young thing, they still do whatever the fuck you want.
And then
Now where
they
you at?
like
Where you
to
gonna go now? Dogs,
like
cats.
I was watching 90 Day Fiance, and this lady was like 52 and her boyfriend was like 21. But she was a self-made millionaire, but she liked to take care of him. Like he lives in Belize. She got him a job, and she with the hotel of her friend, and she pays this man's salary and he doesn't even know. He thinks that he's getting paid through the hotel or whatever, but this woman is paying his salary. She had her friend hire him as a favor, and then she's taking care of his family. So she likes the control aspect, and she's like, she can get a good fuck, but she can also buy him things and treat him like a bitch. And then she got
Mm.
mad because of course he's young.
Daddy.
That's
She's daddy
that's
over
gonna be
there.
Dude.
Sophie. Yo, I'm like, that's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
That's daddy
Sophie.
over there. That's daddy. That sound like me. What's her name? Sophia?
Yo,
I
if Sophie become a millionaire, Lord, I feel
feel
bad for
bad
her.
for these
Shit,
niggas.
niggas.
Mm.
What?
Welcome home, Poppy.
You should feel bad for the
How
bitches
did,
too. You should feel bad for
yeah,
them
I feel
too.
bad
Don't
for
just
them
stop
too.
it.
I feel bad for the
Please
parents
do.
mostly. You know.
Please
Right.
do.
Because, I mean, me having a son and him coming home with an older woman, that shit ain't gonna fly. Nigga, listen, I'm willing to accept him being, alternative. If he wants
Not the
to,
alternative.
Say the
if
word.
he's, yeah, I'm scared to because they might cancel me. Shit. If he want to do stuff like that, cool. But I don't think that I could really fully digest this grown ass woman in my house talk about she loved my son and me and her like the same age. I've been like the mother on how Stella got her groove back, but
That
he's
was our
my
grandmother.
baby. Yeah,
Right.
and my mother's only 2 years older than my father, and she wasn't with the shits.
But
So
even her first son, I think it struck the chord from her first son. Like, oh, not again. Oh no, not again.
shit. You remember when our cousin, he was what? We was 17, 18. He dating a 26-year-old. And we like, what the fuck y'all got in common? I know he probably fuck you good, but sis. And then it was
Hmm.
funny because the men in our family was cheering him on. The women had an attitude. But if the roles were reversed, niggas would be ready to fucking yoke him up and tie him up to a tree and beat the shit out of him, which I don't
How do
think is
you guys
fair.
think Chris Jenner, well, boyfriend mother, or like J Lo, she had a little youngin, little tenderoni.
Shit,
I can just
Mariah and Nick
imagine.
Cannon.
Yes, I can only imagine,
But
especially when I see my son
Mariah
come
making
home
up
with
for Tony
Mariah all
Matola
across the
time.
back.
Yeah. Her book was
Mariah
good
making
too.
up
If
for
y'all
Tony
didn't read
Matola
that,
time.
that was a good book. Cause she ain't no shit. He had her locked and loaded.
Hmm.
First of all, I love me some
Creep.
Mariah. You gotta talk, you gotta prance around. You say Mariah. I'm like, listen, hold on.
Yes, she's a lamb.
She's a lamb. Do you guys think society gives women more of a pass though for dating younger men?
Hmm.
Absolutely. I think they just give it a pass as far as just sexual, anything dealing with sexual for women versus men, as opposed to men versus women, and that goes for the workplace. Women say inappropriate stuff. That's why it is when people be like, "It's in what the guy got raped? No guy can get raped." Yeah, he can. He actually
Women
can.
touch. Women are very
Yeah,
touchy feely creatures,
yeah.
but
Uh
don't
huh.
want to be touched. But we can
Yes.
go and grab somebody else's
Grow,
ass.
grow somebody's dick real quick. Don't you touch my ass, or
Yeah.
Hmm.
you know.
But I
So
think it's more so before you. I'm sorry, Kay. Just
no, go
before you
ahead.
go, I think the reason why they're harder on men because a lot of men commit a lot of sexual crimes, a lot of sexually violent crimes. As far as like maybe the rape numbers, it's more likely that a man is going to commit that versus a woman. When on the same scale, both of those things are wrong.
True.
And
We are
you know
both
what else it
wrong.
is that I think also, Brittany, is that a guy, like when you think of male versus female, as far as being able to be in control of the situation, we think that the guy always has it, not the female. So it's like, nigga, she was trying to rape you. The fuck is a girl? Why you just ain't push her off? Or why? Like, why is it
Right.
like? And I think it's
Hmm.
for that aspect also.
It's a catch 22 with them. Because if
Thin
he push her,
line
now
between
she
love
talk
and
about you
hate.
beat her up.
Right. So, do you think Hollywood gets a pass yet? The black celebrities, like how everybody busts R. Kelly balls for sleeping with younger women, but they praise Tommy Mottola, or like they praise, Renee for being with Celine Dion. Nobody
They
really
ain't say
threw a
nothing
whole
about
fit.
Kylie
They wasn't
Jenner
ready to
and
put them in
fucking
jail.
Tiger.
Yeah, they wasn't ready to put none of them in jail. But now if it's a black celebrity, it's like I feel like they get more of a slap on the wrist.
Hmm. Well, the white celebrities, but now they're trying to crucify Woody Allen. I don't know if y'all heard about that. It's a documentary. I think it's on Showtime.
Oh,
Yeah,
Um,
that thing, they've been trying to fake crucify
Par
him for
something.
years.
Yeah, I
Nothing
can't
has
remember her
happened, and
name.
nothing will happen. Ultimately, nothing will. They live in regardless. They could. That's what people understand with that Jay-Z song, "Black with Skin." You're black, okay? It don't matter how much money you have. You're black. Tread
right.
lightly, okay? So you can do whatever you want. You think that you're on this other side of things. You're black.
You
It's
gotta
still
follow
gonna,
the
it's
rules.
always gonna be double
Forever.
standards for different skin colors, and that's just the society it is that we live in. Like, bruh, it's certain dudes that, even with fucking Bill Cosby, not saying that any of these things, not even say R. Kelly is right, not saying anything that these people are doing are right, but if they were a different skin color, it wouldn't be what it is. The stuff it is that your former president got away with. If he was Obama, you shitting me? They would have had him in the middle of the fucking the town and body bagged him, and that would have just
Yep.
been it.
How they used to do back in the slavery times, take him down to the market and
That's
hang him,
it, and that's just
Yep.
it.
crucify him right there, so y'all
So
can see
absolutely, it's a
one
double
less
standard.
nigga.
It's a double standard for everything dealing with. For the color aspect of it, hell yeah, all the time.
Hmm.
So, have you guys ever really been preyed on? Like a quick story time before we go.
Story, story,
Story,
story,
story.
story.
Yeah. Um, my cousin, my older cousin's friend, he was trying to talk to me, and I was in my senior year of high school, and it was just like he gave me the creep vibes. He was really nice, but it was just something about him that it just wasn't clicking for me. So like he like you said, how we talked about earlier, he wooed the family. All the family was like, yeah, he's really nice. He even had my mother fooled. He was like, yeah, mind you, my cousin is like about 8 years older than me. So I'm like 17. So y'all do the math. I've been drinking.
He
I've
was
been
about
drinking.
25, 24.
Creep, 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 creep,
Between
creep.
25 and 24.
25, 24, 50.
54, 47. So he was trying to take me to prom. And I'm just like, I don't know. My mother's like, well, he's a veterinarian. He takes care of dogs. Da, 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 da. He
That's a
can
grooming
afford
of
to
the
pay for
community.
you.
Fucking the
He
community.
He
wasn't
gonna
just
groom your
grooming the
pussy too.
dogs.
Right. He gonna
Fucking the community.
So he was pressing me about going to prom, and I politely declined because I was
Decline.
just like, yeah, I was like, this ain't gonna work. But like he would really try to come up and chill with me and stuff, and I'm just like, nah. So he tried to get a little close to try to fuck, and I was just like, nah, you gotta go. And then come to find out, a few years later, that's why niggas be laughing at women's intuition. Few years later, I found out that he had a kid that I found out whose baby mother was, but come to find out he was abusive. He used to beat the
Mm,
shit out of her. So
okay.
God
I
kill a
could have
nigga.
been the next victim. I was this close. And I'm like, he's trying to go. He was like, yeah, I can rent us a hotel room after the prom and all of that. And I'm like, listen, he wasn't
You
even
want
like
that young,
appealing.
you want that young thing, yeah? You want that
Listen,
young thing.
he had more belly than he had dick. So that wasn't gonna happen. So look at
For
Sophie
me,
face.
it was a teacher in high school. Spanish joint. He was nice, and he was nice in high school too. But it was what it is that I say high school was like the dudes it is that I was talking to. I was like 16, 15, and they was like 20s, like in their mid 20s. It wasn't like OD, like it wasn't like a late 40s or like early 30s. That's who it was. Spanish teacher. He used to let me do whatever. Like I was supposed to be in Spanish class, and I'm like, yo, my cousin is in gym. He used to be like, go ahead. And he used to try and holler at me, and I used to be like, bro, you're like, he was one of the youngest teachers at that time, but at that time I was 16. He probably was like maybe 37, like closer to 40. I used to be like, yeah, no, it's a no for me, because it was just like creepy to me. It was like he did look fine, and I knew like his whole body, like he had one of them grown men. That's another thing when niggas get into start going to their 40s, like, look at this thing just coming out here. You ain't a little frail nigga no more. Okay, I see you. But he was one of those people, and I was just like, no, it's like creepy. Like, I'm gonna use you as far as I can do whatever I want to do in high school, but for us to do something at that time, like I'm fake new into this game. But even I still had that notion in my mind, because I was at some place and he was like, yeah, I work for NYPD and I'm security over here and all this. But I still had that in my mind. Like, you like me when I was like 15. That's what people don't understand. Like, you like these young niggas. That's why niggas is weird to me when you like 15, 14 years old. You don't even know how to wash your box correctly. Okay. But this is the pussy it is that you want. That is weird as fuck. Like, it's certain things as being a grown woman that you're meant to and take care of differently, suck dick differently. So would you want that straight out the box thing? Creep. You're a fucking creep, bruh. And that's just it. And let's drink up to that creep.
Y'all, you know it's crazy, because when I was young, I was so unexperienced. Like, I'm such a late bloomer, right? And it was crazy because I was like one of those young girls, but like, it's okay, we can like hang out.
Naive. You were naive as fuck.
Yes. And I would have some older guys, kind of like Tommy me, but I wasn't sucking dick in the car. Kind of like, you my youngin, so I gotta like, teach you,
try
and
to
show
groom you
and groom me and stuff like that. And like, and it's crazy because now that like I'm damn near 30, people try to find you when you get older. They be like, oh, okay, yeah, you missed out, but have a great one. Enjoy being a dad.
Cheers.
I got a security guard that I used to work with at my old job that still follows me and still likes my pictures and stuff. And I'm just like, yo, he was salt and peppered in too. Like, I was like 18, 19. And I ain't gonna lie, I used to tell my mother, I'm like, he's a handsome man, but he's a man. And like, he had kids that was a little bit closer to my age. And I'm like, son, I'm not gonna be nobody's stepmother, sister, cousin. Nope.
The only older man that I really had a crush on, like seriously, almost how like Brittany had a crush on P. Diddy when we was young.
I did. I used to love me some
But he used
Diddy.
to go, yeah. Brittany used to
Like I said, my pussy could get wet, then it would have.
No, seriously, something was getting wet.
That was
I don't know
crush.
if it was her underarms or what, but like she was sweat. Like she was like,
my crush too. That was my crush too. Diddy was my crush too. I don't even think it was like we went to some Halloween party. I think it was like me and Space. I don't even think that she was tapped in with MA at that time. It was some Halloween party and we were going out and Diddy and Cassie was walking in. Nigga, I almost lost my mind. You know what it is for Diddy? It was like the smell of it. I just knew that he smelled good. So when he walked by me and I got that whiff, I was like, yes, exactly how it is. And I thought, did you smell? You fucking smell like,
girl. Listen, you know who I still got a crush on to this day? And I just be like, if I was his age at that time, he'd have got it. Plain and simple.
Who?
Fucking
celebrity crush.
Mr. Dalvin from Jodeci.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Dalvin was sexy.
Boy, that Vibe magazine, I remember it was all four of them. I was like, oh my God, let me tell you.
And I mean, he a little leatherish now, but he still got that thing about him.
I'm gonna tell you.
Let me ask you another question.
If you listening.
Well, hold Hold on. Did you guys see something called Pass the Mic over the weekend? It was on
Did
BET.
I? Did I? I sure did.
I'm gonna send y'all the link because
I
it
was
was
jamming
like
to
the
it this
washed up
morning.
one.
I
I
got
was
my
jamming
top
to it this
three.
morning. Who's your top three?
What's it? Go ahead. I'm listening.
My top three, and y'all about to die with the last one because this was like my crushes, like when I was young. Of course, Nas.
I'll do just a
That
little Bow Wow.
yeah, Bow Wow, but I'm talking about older.
Okay.
Older.
Bro,
So
bro.
when I was young, I was a sneakerhead, right? And I don't know why I always had a crush on Fat Joe. Let me tell you, they be sleeping on Fat Joe. He know how to treat a woman. So and he get
He's
fly. Look,
Spanish.
he a sexy one.
She got
But
the Spanish
Nas
thing.
and fucking Maxwell, I know none of them are in their own category. That's how it is mine. I'm just like, I love the soul. But it was something about fucking Fat Joe. I remember really being young, having a crush on Fat Joe. Like,
That's jokes.
yo,
You know what the thing is that I don't like Fat Joe, but Fat Joe, as far as like, if you look at him, I'm not a Spanish nigga, but he has like a blondish hair. He got like green
got some pretty
eyes. He got
eyes
like
He's
too.
like
handsome.
he got a lot of stuff going on. So
And he
I
got a
get
lot
it.
of swag. Like Fat Joe right
Yeah.
now, that nigga could talk the panties off, big and all.
No
He could
doubt.
talk, he could talk the panties off.
And Fat Joe is a dope artist too. Shout out to him. The whole
Yes,
whatever it is he
yes,
got going
he
on.
is.
It was like the
Mhm.
Benny the Butcher shit, and that was like, God damn, Fat Joe could still talk that shit. It's a lot of older one. Him, Method Man. It's a couple of artists that they were old back in, and
I
Method
used to
Man's
like
another one.
Ghostface. Ghostface was a
Okay.
shorty.
Until they
I
say
know he looked like
his
my daddy.
Yo, somebody ruined
Yo,
it and said
I
that
can't.
Daryl looked like Fat Joe. I was
Yep.
stressed. I was like,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah,
I can't.
I ain't gonna lie. Like I ain't gonna front though. Listen, if I could have got to the party, the after party, and the after party, nigga, I would have fucked Mr.
We gonna
Dalvin.
keep
I'm
on.
sorry.
Even Cool and Dre, even though he's not up there,
He
he may be like
is
probably late
cute.
third. I
He
always
getting
had
that
a crush
quiet
on Cool
money.
and
He
Dre.
got that
He
quiet
getting
money.
that
He cute.
quiet money. He's like,
That's
his money is up.
That's the hard shit.
And
the
you know what
hard
kind of turns me on now? Like seeing like good fathers sometimes. I don't know why. They'd be like, he's a good dad.
Yep, she's going into 30, guys. In case it is you
Creep.
did not know, as it is at Creep It Up, as it is that she just said that, she's hitting the 30. So here we are, Kaloni. Welcome to you're almost
Look,
there. You got a couple more
I'm
months.
gonna take the last swig for y'all. I'm gonna take it back.
Let's
Right.
cheers to that.
Because that actually brought us to
Talk
the
about
nightcap.
somebody, daddy. Talk about somebody, good dad.
Right.
Yeah, you old.
That
He's a good dad.
that brought us to the nightcap. So the nightcap is gonna be the new segment now. If you got anything on your mind for the nightcap, please share it with us.
Anything.
So
Never know.
so are you trying to get your pretty wings, Kay?
Pretty.
Wings.
Let me tell you.
Wings.
If Maxwell or even Fat Joe.
Well, no, Maxwell aged like a bottle of wine. That nigga is sexy now. He's sexier now.
Now,
You
that's
know
what I'm
who it is
saying.
that I seen? You know who it is that I seen on that little countdown, whatever the hell, RL from Next. I was like, okay.
Minus the Beijing, but he did look good on Past the Mic.
Like, all right, let me go follow him. Hi.
No, this is my
Then you
nightcap,
fine.
and then my
Then you
nightcap, and then
fine.
we done. That fucking Keith Sweat.
The podcast should have been called 3 Horny Niggas.
Yes, 3 creeps.
That's it.
Keith Sweat could get my panties any day. I'm sorry.
Yo.
He tall, he brown skin, and he got the little D voice when he started talking to shit. I'm like, you an old Harlem nigga. I like that shit. All
I
right.
just want to hear the first sentence to nobody. Okay, like just the way he said "I," like just
I wanna
yes, the stretch on that eye. It's like okay,
because you can see him singing it as he goes down to eat the pussy.
I want to show you, baby.
Right, and if my father's watching this episode, cut it off. This part ain't for you.
My father
Sophie?
would die.
I should. That's your father's friend. But tell him call me. I just played.
I'm over y'all niggas.
Come on, you got a
Agreed.
nightcap. Who you trying to see in the nightcap, Sophie? Who you trying to see in the
I'm
nightcap?
not trying to see anyone. I do not want to see. Like I said, what's the name? I followed RL. I was like, hey now. I
See?
don't want to hear. But he was the finest one out. But I was like, it just separates everybody. That whole who's up next, whatever the fuck it was called. It was like certain ones they were washed up. Like Cisco still had it. Like he had the blonde hair. He took off the hat. I was like, okay, Cisco. Them other two ones, it was over for them.
I was on
What's
the
her name?
highway, but I was
Regina
over there
Howard,
driving
too.
and watching.
She was
Mhm.
washed. I'm like, girl, with the braces, you like 75 with the gray hair. Like, girl,
And,
come on now. You
Gina
should have pushed through with the
Thompson.
dye.
Gina Thompson, the things you do. She looked completely different.
Yo. No,
Mm-hmm.
Pam from Total.
She looked like she smoked crack.
Wait, maybe it was
No, it's
Keisha.
Pam.
No, it was I was thinking about Keisha. Keisha still look good.
Yeah, the one that's married to Omar Epps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Keisha still
look
looks
You know who
good.
else looked the same way? He was never my flavor, but he looks like the same Carl Thomas. He another one that looked like the same. He looked like regular ass Carl Thomas. Like, okay, you ain't even. But shout out to him because he was like in Christian world, so he wasn't on the bad boy tour. I'm pretty sure the bills started racking up. He like, fuck this. Let me.
Did he fucked up a lot of fucking households, but he can
Shout out
still
to
get
Big
it.
LA.
See my man.
Big LA. LL Cool J.
She the only nigga that call him Big LA.
Big LA. Yo, my mother be stressed because I call her all the time. Yo, Big LA, Big Sele. Yo, she be like, goodbye. She just called me.
RL just went live a couple minutes ago. Listen, I'm not gonna slide in people DM.
She is.
I'm cooler.
He's married too, so be nice.
You gonna tell me to listen to
problem,
our
right?
podcast?
Well, that's all. I'm just promoting a podcast. That's all it is. I just check this out. We shouted you out. That's it.
Lord.
Shout out to all the people that's taking care of themselves as you get older and and keeping that youth. You keeping it youth. Why you have
all them older, fine, sexy men it is that we have in this industry, just in the world. Sophia, personally, that's my nightcap. I love all of y'all, man. And if it is that you ever seen that, people don't understand. Like, I love how men look, especially as they get older and they're keeping themselves together. I'm one of them people, like, while I'm walking through, if you smell good, I'll be like, damn, brother, you smell like something. If you got a good bed, like, damn, that bed is just bearding. I don't want you. I'm not gonna try and talk to you. You could be married. Whatever you got going on, but I'm gonna let you know, brother, you looking fine. I love those. And visually, even Brittany, with her being married, my grandmother always used to say the same thing to Brittany. She said, I'm not dead, right? I'm still here. Doesn't mean you got your husband at home that you love, but you're not dead. You still got eyes.
I can look, but I won't touch. I ain't gonna touch, but I look. But that's why I pump my juices to the men, because men, they don't take care of themselves like they're supposed to. So I'm like, if you're not gonna eat the salad and all of that men complain about, if you're not gonna eat it, fine. Go ahead and drink it. I tell them, listen, this is gonna help you taste good, it's gonna help you look good, and it's gonna help you with your stamina, sir. So just have a drink. Just have a drink.
We love y'all. From Let Us Sip podcast to y'all. We love y'all. That's our nightcap. You looking like something, you taking care of yourself. We love y'all, man.
Yeah.
We love you.
Love yourself.
Right.
We love all of y'all.
So if y'all want to follow us, you can follow me, Brittany, at Provocateur B.
You want to follow me? It's Looks by K with the X, Kay.
For me, it is philosophy. So it's with an underscore, PHILO _ SOPHY. Philosophy _ Sophie.
Yep, and it will be in the details underneath the episode. We thank y'all for joining us, and we will see y'all next week on another episode of
Let Us Sip.
Let Us Sip.
Thank you for listening to Let Us Sip. Please remember to subscribe wherever you get your podcast from. And if you like what you heard, leave us a comment. If you feel like we can do better, leave us a comment too. But be respectful. We read everything and only want to grow. So thanks again for your love and support, and we will see you next week.